I would open up my live well in my boat and see the algae in there. And I don't know, it's related to ALS and Alzheimer's and all these neurological diseases. We don't really know how toxic it is for our body. And I just don't want to be the martyr. I don't want to be the guy who dies from this.
An algae crisis threatening our treasure coast.
A cycle of despair and disgust amidst promises made and broken.
Billions of gallons of water are rushing from Lake Okeechobee to our coastline.
How much pollution is too much? How much danger is too much? How much before this will stop?
My name is Mike Holliday. I am a local fishing guide. I've been a Martin County lifeguard for 20 years. My whole life and livelihood and lifestyle are water-based. And I've seen over the years the destruction of our waterways. And I'm just afraid that people are going to accept that as the norm. What our government is essentially saying is, we are worried about the human safety south of the lake, so we're going to discharge the water, toxic water, and ignore human health and send it to the coasts.
The Corps of Engineers has literally acknowledged to me that the water that they dump into the St. Lucie here is toxic. Quote, toxic. That is the word that the Corps of Engineers used to describe that water.
We have conveyed water out the system that has contained cyanobacteria and harmful algae blooms. Yes, sir.
And the Corps considers that toxic?
Yes, sir.
There's no point in time that the government should be allowed to poison the people that they actually work for.
The discharges themselves impact the entire community. Just in our recreational value of life, to being able to go to the sandbar and relax in the water. When the water's dirty, you don't want to do it. And what is our quality of life when we can't use the water?
Local Republican Congressman Brian Mast pushing to stop toxic discharges from Lake Okeechobee into the St. Lucie River estuary and Indian River Lagoon.
The congressman introducing a new bill in an effort to cut down on harmful algae blooms in our waters.
Congressman Brian Mast's bill proposal would stop Lake O discharge into the St. Lucie River to the east if that water was too toxic.
Well, the EPA put forth what we could call a tolerance for microcystin, the cyanotoxin that's found in the algal blooms.
We issued some new numbers this spring to set some numeric numbers so that people know what is safe and what's not safe. And for the microcystins, it's 8 micrograms per liter.
And how we got there, it wasn't on accident. It actually occurred because a couple of years back, I was in a hearing with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And I was trying to get to the point with the Corps about what is too toxic. At what point is some hazard in the water too great that they'd actually say, no, we're not going to discharge that water? And they didn't have a good answer for me. But what they did say was that they would work with the other agencies that are involved in looking at water quality, like the EPA and others, and try to come up with tolerable standards that they would work hand in hand in order to bring into law. So we wrote a bill just recently that said the Corps of Engineers shall not be allowed to discharge water greater than 8 parts per billion microcystin here into the St. Lucie. This bill is so important because it tells them you can't do just that. You can't discharge water that the EPA and that the Corps of Engineers acknowledges is toxic water. This is a basic level of good governance. There's an old saying out there that says the truth shall set you free. Well, I'm confident that we're going to get this bill across the finish line like so many others because this is the truth. The EPA has gone out there and said, don't touch this water because it's toxic, because these are the hazards of it. The Corps of Engineers has acknowledged that that water is toxic, that there are real hazards. That is the truth about what's going on when the Corps of Engineers dumps that water from Lake Okeechobee here into the St. Lucie. And I believe that the truth will set you free, and that's why I believe that this will actually come into law.